John Gross is here to time it all out for us. Hi, John.
Yeah, hello there, Jamie. It's definitely been a little bit active in the weather center this evening. We've been seeing some strong winds, rain from earlier, and then another round closer to dinner time, and that's changing over to some snow showers for this evening. So not on top of all the precipitation that we've had, but still technically holding on to the wind advisory. That's for Tuscola and Huron counties. And as I speak right now, National Weather Service just dropped those. So we are still dealing with the windy conditions as we're going into tonight, but obviously not going to be meeting the wind advisory standards. However, let's go ahead and show you those wind gusts as we're going into the overnight period. Still holding on to near 25, 35 miles per hour, and that's going to be the theme as we go into your Monday morning. So that's going to give us feels like temperatures a lot colder than your actual air temperatures, feeling like the 20s, if not even some teens further north. And we can all expect to feel like the teens as we step out the door for your Monday morning. Name of the game, make sure that we have some layers on as you're starting off your brand new day tomorrow. Pinpoint Doppler, the cold front that did move through earlier this evening, now moving to the east near Ontario, and now we're starting to deal with some lake effect snow showers. I think the more concentrated lake effect snow showers going to be centered north and west of the Tri-Cities as we go into tomorrow, but still you can see some of these streamers making it south and east over time. So that's going to be the general theme as we go into the next about 12 to 18 hours. Bus stop forecast, there it is for the kids tomorrow. Make sure that they do have the layers out the door. 20s feeling like the teens, only talking mid-30s by tomorrow afternoon. Much more in your full forecast. We'll talk about Thanksgiving coming up in just a little bit. Jamie, back to you.
Thank you, John. AAA says more than 53 million Americans are expected to travel for the Thanksgiving holiday. As Tom Hansen reports, with travel expected to return to near pre-pandemic levels, health experts are keeping a watchful eye on rising COVID numbers in parts of the nation.
With Thanksgiving just days away, Americans are on the go this holiday season. Well over 2 million people are passing through airport security each day, a new pandemic high.
We're all taking different precautions.
Even with COVID cases on the rise, former FDA Commissioner Dr. Scott Gottlieb says the situation is far better than a year ago, when an average of about 170,000 new daily COVID cases were reported.
But we're probably not as good as we should be given all the tools we have between the vaccines and the highly effective drugs, and also how much infection we've had in this country and how much immunity is already in place.
Nationwide, new cases are up nearly 54% in the last month. Michigan, Minnesota, North Dakota, and Wisconsin are among the hardest hit states. Now that the CDC has cleared the way for Americans 18 or older to get a booster shot, there are growing questions about the prospect for additional boosters.
We would hope, and this is something that we're looking at very carefully, that third shot with the mRNA not only boosts you way up, but increases the durability so that you will not necessarily need it every 6 months or a year. We're hoping it pushes it out more.
Meanwhile, Disney is reversing course on vaccine mandates for workers at Walt Disney World in Florida. The move comes after Governor Ron DeSantis signed legislation restricting workplace mandates. Tom Hansen, CBS News.
More local news now. A Davison School Board member is due back in court tomorrow for a final pretrial hearing. Matthew Smith is accused of making a threatening phone call to a Houghton County clerk. The clerk, Jennifer Kelly, says Smith also threatened to kill her dogs. His trial starts at 8:30. Meanwhile, outside the courthouse, parents and volunteers from Davison will be collecting signatures for their recall petition. The Committee for School Board Integrity says his alleged actions have made them question if he's fit to make decisions on behalf of their children. Well, a man charged in last month's drive-by shooting of a West Side cafe is due back in court. 22-year-old Wanye Lyles of Saginaw is accused of accessory after the fact and other crimes. Annie Mae's Internet Cafe on Court Street was struck by at least 9 bullets on the afternoon of October 13th. One customer was hit in the foot. Police have said they believe the customer was not the intended target. His preliminary exam starts at 9:30. The other defendant, 17-year-old Robert Lee, was charged as an adult with assault with intent to murder and other felonies. No word on when he will be back in court. Also tomorrow, a preliminary exam for this man, DeAndre Arrington. He's accused in a deadly drive-by shooting last December in Flint, killing a 10-month-old boy and his grandmother. He is charged with first-degree murder. Arrington's hearing begins at 9:30. November is Alzheimer's Awareness Month. More than 6 million Americans struggle with the disease. Despite the millions raised for research and therapy, so much is still not known about the disease. TV5's Trevor Sahaki spoke with a local professor who's working to change that.
There are a lot of people who are still unaware. They think it's a natural part of aging. Alzheimer's is actually is associated with unhealthy aging, and there is no really effective treatment to prevent or delay the disease.
But that's what neuroscience professor Kevin Park is trying to do. He studies Alzheimer's disease at Central Michigan University.
Early stages, it doesn't really affect the person's day-to-day activities, but having more memory problems can increase the likelihood of developing Alzheimer's-related dementia.
He and his team are artificially creating the same brain changes as the disease.
We think we can maybe use our model to kind of identify perhaps early biological changes, processes, and then maybe target those to see if they can actually kind of prevent the development of these pathologies.
It's still a challenge.
But if you're forgetting like what you did earlier today, let's say, and that keeps persisting, or you're forgetting people's names often or faces.
Most diagnoses of Alzheimer's are not hereditary. They're random. That's the group he's trying to help.
Alzheimer's is very difficult to diagnose at early stages. So when people do get diagnosed, it's when it's in the mild stages of Alzheimer's disease, confusion, agitation, when it's really obvious.
Park says the earlier you can diagnose, the better future planning and disease management you can have. So if a loved one is showing symptoms, it's important to see a neurologist when you can. Trevor Sahaki, WNEM, TV5.
Though he's hopeful about the research, Dr. Park understands creating a drug and finding a solid treatment and cure are years away. A soul food staple serving up an even bigger crowd. A look at the shop that went from a vendor to a brick and mortar location. And a solar project energizing thousands of homes. When it will be up and running next. Remember, for breaking news and weather any hour of the day, just like us on Facebook. You'll find the latest headlines, Facebook Live reports, and up-to-the-minute weather information. And be sure to start your weekday mornings the right way with a cup of coffee and TV5 Wake Up. Get caught up on all the news you missed overnight starting at 4:30 a.m.